So, Dhammakaya checking in here. Currently walking along Arambol Beach in Goa and just been soaking up the environment, the atmosphere, the energy, the vibration, the experience, the life, the activity, everything that's taking place. And there's so much that's taking place. There's drum circle with people drumming and dancing. There's the night markets with people sitting, selling their things. You've got these amazing dancers beautifully dancing with headphones freely and openly like there's no one watching on the beach. You've got two girls jamming, one with drums and one with the hang pan, jamming together with a sax on the beach. You got a man selling potato breads from the basket, shouting out loud. You got the sun setting in the background over the Arabian Sea, and then you've got me just having a little meditate and aware of my breath and just observing it all, just watching all the people and all the beauty and all the variation and the diversity and the culture and the everything, so much, and it's beautiful. So I just thought I'd share that little moment and hope everyone is well, and lots of love. Over and out. Namaste, Dhammakaya here, checking in on Arambol Beach. Currently chilling at the Cafe Food Planet, waiting on a lemonana, lemon mint ice drink, and just wanted to reflect on the beauty of yesterday. It was a day of stepping out of the comfort zone, and it was a real beautiful day to remember. I started off with a nice surf in the morning on the Mini Mau from the Surf Wala, the surf club. Jono lent me a board, and been taking that out in the morning, so I had a little surf. And then I suddenly had this intuitive feeling that I wanted to open a little market store at the beach markets on Arambol Beach, because everyone sits down and has their little markets, and I thought I want to put myself out there and offer free massages by donation contribution and just see what happens, and just put myself out there and just sit there and just flow with it. And so while I was like preparing myself for that, I went and bought 2 bamboo mats, and I bought these bamboo mats from the supermarket. And after I bought these mats from the supermarket, I then went to buy a sheet, and I got everything that I needed to get. And then so I went out and bought the mats, and I bought the sheets, and a massage sheet and massage oil and everything. And then I bumped into Nicola, who was Wendy Almaster's friend from the Tantra course, and she suggested maybe jamming together because she has a hand or a hang pan, the musical instrument. So I thought we'd do a sound healing massage. So that's what we did. So we had a little market stall, and she was playing the hang pan while I was giving a massage, and we had 4 clients and made 750 rupees, and it was cool. Just made it happen, and almost broke even, and it was just fun to just be real and give it a go. And then I backed that up last night by going onto the beach just after sunset in front of the markets, and I danced like nobody was watching. I just had my headphones on and listening to Bollywood music and just dancing in the water line at the shore of the water. And it was beautiful just to be free and liberated, and just do what you want to do without caring what other people feel. And I mostly had my eyes closed, and occasionally I'd be looking at the ocean or maybe sussing out people walking past, but mostly I just blocked everything out and just danced and pretended to be free. Well, I was quite free, and it was a very nice experience. And so yeah, thank you to Zap, Anna Zap, the beautiful Russian dancer that I met at Ecstatic Dance. She encouraged me to do that, and she does it at sunset, just dances crazy, so it was very nice. Thank you. So yeah, as it happens in India, you get interrupted. You got people trying to sell you sarongs on the beach. You got waiters coming up to you asking if you want food and blah blah blah. But anyway, yeah, thank you to Zap for the inspiration for getting out there and dancing freely. I've seen her dancing a few times at sunset with her headphones on, and just it looks enigmatic and fluid and just beautiful to watch. So lots of inspiration from that. And then this morning I got up at 6 a.m. and took part in Anahata's Tantra film. So yeah, dressed up in white and went to the fort, Reddy Fort, in Maharashtra, just next to Goa. And we shot some Tantra shots in a tree, me and Nicola, and just some simple holds and postures. And then we did the haka. So it was a real crazy morning, and I just taken it easy before Ecstatic Dance. So yeah, the last 48 hours has been a very beautiful evolution of stepping out of the comfort zone and just doing the market and not caring and sitting there and doing the dancing and just, feeling completely free. And Arambol is a great place to do it. Anyway, lots of love to everyone who's listening, and hope all is well. Hey, namaste, everybody. Dhammakaya checking in here to share some spontaneous reflections from my journey so far. I've been in India almost 5 months, leaving in about 2 weeks, and just thought I'd reflect back on some of the memories that really come to mind, that have stayed present in my conscious awareness at this point in time. So looking back, man, it's been a journey. I've done a lot of courses and workshops. So I did the Buddhist philosophy course at Tushita Meditation Center, Tibetan Buddhism Center in Dharamshala, the Buddhist philosophy course. Then I did the How to Enjoy Death Rabina Korten Buddhism course, also in Dharamshala. Then I did the Tantra meditation course at the Osho Center, Osho Nisaga, also in Dharamshala. And then I did the ISTA sexuality shamanic spiritual training, the Sacred Temple Arts course, in Delhi at Zorba the Buddha. So I've done a lot of workshops and courses. Some of the highlights really from these courses, I guess the first thing that comes to mind is in the ISTA course. During this training I met Roisin, and she's a beautiful girl from England, the yoga teacher, community builder, beautiful woman. Hari Prem is her sannyasa name. or her spirit name. And yeah, we connected quite deeply and really got to know each other on quite a level, and we worked together a little bit in some of the exercises. I was her father and rebirthed her, so to speak, anchored new energy into her and said what her father never said to her, and that was quite transformative for her. Then we engaged in energetic sex with no physical union, no sexual union, just movement and energy, which was very interesting and was definitely very powerful for her. She was shaking all over and the energy was rising through her body, and her arms and hands were shaking uncontrollably, and it was quite profound experience to observe and witness that. And then also on that course I connected once really with Liz, an Australian girl, and she was very nice. I wasn't attracted to her, but we connected on one of the exercises, which was the sacred spot exercise, yoni massage. So I gave her a yoni massage, which was very sacred and very deep and healing, profoundly healing. So first I gave her a massage with oil, and it started off being, a little bit sexual and just pleasurable energy. And then after a while, once I put my hand on her yoni, it then became completely focused on healing. And she just started releasing this held experiences and held memories and trauma, ancestral and present wounds and emotions that she'd been carrying in her body. So simply by me holding her yoni with one hand, and I had my other hand on her throat, stroking her throat, and she was just releasing and completely just surrendering. She surrendered completely to me, and I didn't even know really what I was doing, but I just felt in with my intuition and held her quite strong and was stroking her throat, and she was just crying and letting go, and her head was sort of tilted back, and she was sort of convulsing and pulsing with emotion releasing from her body. So it was full-on tantric, intense exercise, and it went on for a good couple of hours, and after it she was just speechless. She just didn't know what to say. She was just speechless, and then she really needed to rest, and she said it was one of the most healing experiences she's ever had in her life, and she just for the first time has cried for things she's never cried for, and let go of experiences. And just the look on her face showed me how powerful channels and conduits of energy and healing we can be, and the healing power we have within us. So profound, absolutely profound. And then we linked up in Rishikesh when Marion arrived. Me and Liz linked up in Rishikesh, all of us, and it was nice to see her and hang out a little bit, and she said it had been very transformative, so I was very happy to hear that. And then as for Roisin, we ended up linking up a week later in Goa, in Arambol, and we spent a week together on the cliffside, and we had Christmas together and New Year's Eve together, not New Year's Eve, just Christmas together, and it was beautiful. And we spent a lot of time having deep conversations and holding her in the ocean and swimming and having yummy meals and just hanging out, like almost like brother and sister, and real closeness. And she did feel like my girlfriend, like my partner for some time. And then on the last night before, or the last morning before we left the place, we connected in sexual union, which is quite funny. So that was my experiences with Roisin. And then I also, from the Osho Tantra meditation course, I met Wendy Almaster, who's a Tantra teacher from Holland, from Amsterdam, and we got along very well. And we did one exercise together where she was actually my father, and she was she was my mother, sorry. She was my mother, and she was massaging me and anchoring in all these beautiful things that I would like my mother to have said to me when I was young. And so we did that exercise together, and that was very healing and beautiful. And she basically was my teacher. She was attracted to me, and we got along really well. And so we spent some time together, and she showed me Shiva Shakti breathing, and she showed me different meditations and different ways to do give and receive massage, the wheel of consent, and how to build up the sexual energy and withhold ejaculation to build up orgasmic energy. And yeah, she taught me a lot. She taught me to be clear and honest with communication, and to be very mature about it, and it was beautiful. And we did come into union one of the last nights before we left, and that was a very interesting experience. Purely just for the experience. I wasn't really interested in having a relationship. She was in a polyamorous relationship, so it was interesting to experiment with a woman who was in a polyamorous relationship. And then there was also Leela Gaia, the Hindi girl, who I also met there, and we got along really well, and we spent a week in Dharamshala, just connecting and hanging out, and we did the Triun trek with the spirit guide. We had many talks about growth and about honouring and loving your shadow and healing and somatic healing, and yeah, very, very deep time with her. We didn't come into union, but we just stayed closely connected. Then in Dharamshala at the Buddhist philosophy course, I met the beautiful Keren, who's from Israel, and she was gorgeous, very beautiful girl, and very happy and positive for a 23-year-old woman. And she taught me some Hebrew, and we spent one night together, which was really beautiful to connect with her. And I quite liked her, but she was a little bit young in terms of, I guess, emotional maturity, but I enjoyed connecting with her nonetheless. Yeah, and the next crazy thing that comes to mind with my experiences was after I left Zorba the Buddha for the ISTA course, I got the train to Goa, and I was feeling a little bit upset after leaving Roisin, and it sort of left on a bit of a weird note, because I was sort of pulling away and then coming in and sending her mixed messages and just being immature about what I wanted out of the relationship. So it ended a bit funny, but I got on the train at Delhi, and luckily I last minute I got upgraded to first class, so I ended up spending first class on the train all the way from Delhi to Goa, which was 28 hours. So this was really nice experience to have. And at the station before I got on the train, there was this woman, and she had about 10 big bags with her, and so I thought, I better help this woman, like she looks like she's struggling. So I helped her on with her bags, and it was very sort of mystical, and she had this funny hat on and sunnies on, and I thought she looked European or something, and turns out she was a Russian girl, Katrina, first Russian girl I've met. And yeah, she was very reserved and standoffish at first, and slowly I began to connect a little bit with her and get to know her a bit more, and she became much more friendly, and offered her some fresh fruit salad, and she took that and enjoyed it. And then after a few hours she came and joined me down in my little bed in my cabin, and we just looked out the window together, and it was nice sharing this moment and sharing the journey. And also in the cabin opposite us was Kengo, the Japanese guy who took my portrait in Dharamshala for his exhibition. So crazy small world. Anyway, we shared the journey, and I was planning on going to South Goa, and about half an hour before the stop for North Goa, Katrina told me that I should come to Arambol, that I'd really like it. So I thought, yep, why not? I'll go to Arambol, which is the sort of hippie and alternative conscious community similar to Byron Bay in Goa. And then I thought, I don't know where I'm going to stay. I'm just going to ask this girl if I can stay with her. So I stepped out of the comfort zone and I said, Katrina, may I stay with you tonight? I have nowhere planned yet. It could be nice to keep hanging out, and I'll find somewhere in the morning. And she said yes. So we ended up sharing a cab together to go to her place, and then I cooked her dinner, and we had a nice night together, and just had a little bit of a hug, and I was able to give her a little kiss on the cheek, and that's sort of as much as I could give her. She's had a very beautiful body, but she was definitely a bit, cautious and standoffish in terms of getting into deep intimacy. But that was okay. I enjoyed just being with her and cooking dinner and hanging out. And then in the morning she drove me into town on the back of her motorbike and showed me round and got me accommodation. But then I ended up staying one more night with her, which was cool, and we watched some documentaries about the Kogis in Colombia, the indigenous tribe that's still there. And then I spent the week with Roisin on Arambol Beach. So that was my story with Katrina, which was beautiful and very out there and spontaneous. My favourite thing so far about Arambol has been ecstatic dance under the banyan tree at the source, Monday and Friday, 7:30, and it's just been heaven. It's just been bliss, just moving fluidly and flowing and getting into my creative energy and my tapping into my feminine energy and moving and being alive and being with beautiful souls and healthy community. Everyone's conscious, no drugs or alcohol, dancing together and being in your own space and then reaching out and connecting, and just it's felt so good to do it, and I've loved it. And that's part of the reason why I came back to Goa for the last couple of weeks before I leave India after Rishikesh. And I will always remember my first dance night there, where I danced with two women, and that I remember, and one just was moving me everywhere in all these different directions and pushing me and turning me and just flowing and tapping my chest and moving my shoulders, and she just knew how to move and get me flowing, and where I was holding tension or stiffness, she just helped me loosen up and flow. And was so nice that she did this, and we danced for quite some time in this contact dance type scenario. And then I danced with this other girl who was also a brunette, beautiful brunette girl, and that was just close connection, intense eye gazing, very close body contact, and just a long sensual dance together, just ecstasy. And then we just looked into each other's eyes, sat in meditation, and then didn't talk, and she got up and went somewhere else, and I went somewhere else, and that was that, and that was beautiful and so much fun. And I was also there with Sprout and Yanni and Roisin, the other Tantra crew in Arambol, and we shared a bit of a cuddle puddle, which was super nice. And yeah, so that's been ecstatic dance, which I've just loved. It's been so much fun. Yeah, in terms of other interesting experiences, I arrived in Amritsar in India. The Golden Temple was beautiful. Stayed with Anand, the meditation teacher, for a couple of weeks for free, couch surfing. And yeah, I learned a bit more about meditation, and he shared his philosophy with me. And I met his beautiful friend Baljit Singh, the Sikh guy, and we spent a night together near the Golden Temple, and he took me around and treated me like his brother, and we hung out, and he still messages me and talks to me. He took me to a Sikh temple, and his guru sat down with me and gave me a blessing and a mandala, and whispered Wahe Guru in my ear, and gave me some beads, and that was quite beautiful and unique. Yeah, so that was Amritsar. A lot has happened, and then in Dharamshala I stayed with Atul on his farm, helping his father in the yard and having conversations with his father, and his father said some beautiful things to me about the eyes being the mother of the heart, and about not making your soul thirsty, and all these beautiful things, and said that I have a pureness to me and an innocence to me, and really looked me in the eye with this awareness, and quite intense but very touching and very beautiful. So that was some time I spent with Atul. Yeah, so then there was Rishikesh with Marion in Laxmanjula. Went to Anand Prakash Ashram and did some beautiful kirtan there, and some fire puja, and some nice yoga classes, Akhanda yoga, Akhanda. And yeah, these are the main highlights and things that come to mind. Also went to the Osho Ashram in Pune, which was a beautiful experience. Couch surfed for free at a local's house close by there, and hitchhiked back and forth to the ashram, and danced and did white robe meditation and dynamic every morning 6 a.m. So that was intense and full on but beautiful. At the Osho Tantra meditation at Osho Nisarga, I also connected with Ma Anand Sarita. She was the teacher, and she blessed me with my new spirit name, Swami Dhammakaya. Swami meaning Master of Self, the prefix for most Osho Neo Sannyasa names, and then Dhammakaya meaning Dhamma and Kaya. Dhamma meaning spirituality, and Kaya meaning body or container. So she translated it for me as the sacred container for the essence of the spiritual transmission. And she said for me and I think for everyone, it's about remembering and bringing this wisdom up out of our bodies. We all have it there. It's not a matter of learning, it's a matter of remembering. And so I'm a container for that. So I'm very happy with my new name, Dhammakaya. People also call me Kaya for short. So that's beautiful. So yeah, and then Wendy Amasta from Holland, she then decided to come back to Delhi after we did the course, and she flew from Holland to Delhi, and we spent 5 days in Delhi in Vasant Kunj in a guest house, and spent 5 days together, basically just doing tantra, doing meditations and doing partner exercises and going out for nice dinners and just spending quality time together. And it was very beautiful to spend this time with her, with deep intimacy and connection. And we didn't come into sacred union this time. We purely just did meditations. We watched a documentary on the power of the heart. We watched a movie on The Perfect Sense about the importance of your 5 senses and what it would be like to live without them. We did chakra breathing, some eye gazing, life story sharing, masculine, feminine breathing, and lots of other things that I now can't remember. But just crazy the fact that she came back to Delhi and then we spent 5 days doing this together, pretty much cooped up in the guest house, enjoying. So that was very, very unique. Super unique. And I also got the Sacred Spot massage ceremony from Kat from the ISTA Sacred Temple Arts Tantra course, which was very special. And now I'm just walking along Arambol Beach. You can probably hear the sea in the background, and just reflecting on the last pretty much 5 months so far that I've been away. And there has been difficult times where I've had so much freedom I don't know what to do with it, and been times where I sort of thought, what am I doing? And other difficult times, especially with the currency situation, running out of money and running around and hitchhiking, trying to get cash, and ATMs with no cash, and there's massive lines and just chaos. But it's all in divine order, and it all is happening I feel, for my own personal growth and development. So I'm very trusting, and I'm learning to surrender to the situation with less resistance and more flow and trust. And I've been enjoying doing this and feel that this is really helping my growth. Not to mention all the courses, especially the ISTA course, with this clear, honest communication in terms of sexuality, status, health, boundaries, fears, intentions, and just laying it out on the table, and being very real and authentic with your communication, learning different emotional release techniques, learning aspecting, Sacred Spot ritual, and all these other beautiful experiences. So those are some of the things that I'm reflecting on. Sending everyone lots of love. Hope everyone's happy and well, and talk to you soon. Ciao. Hey listeners, how's everyone going? I'm currently walking along Arambal Beach, and it's pitch black. It's 6 a.m. and I just wanted to voice my new commitment, and my new commitment is pro-life. It's a way of living life with totality and with a fullness, and making most of the day. So this is the third morning that I have risen, you could say, at 5:30 a.m. in the morning, and this is my new commitment. And I'd like to and will endeavour and do my best to continue this throughout the rest of the year. You know, I feel that that as long as I'm in bed by 10 p.m. that I get enough sleep. And as Lama Zopa says, he says there's so much to enjoy and there's so much to do. We can live life to the fullest, that there's no time to waste. Sleeping is a waste of time. So anyway, of course I'm still getting my sleep, but this is my new commitment to really taking advantage of the day. You know, even if it's dark for an hour, I can listen to podcasts, I can listen to music, I can meditate, I can exercise. There's so many things that we can do. So this is a verbal commitment to myself that I'm going to honour this new habit of getting up early and living, you know, and taking advantage of this precious life, because this life is precious. So yeah, it's continuing from today, 100%. And I commit to, even when I feel tired in the morning or I don't feel like getting up, I'm going to remember how good it feels to get up, and remember how precious and how fortunate life is, and I will get up. So anyway, lots of love to everyone out there, and I'm going to listen to a podcast now about love. All right, love you all. Yo, how you doing, everybody? So currently kicking back in Istanbul in Turkey. So I'm just in a little local park, just watching the world go by, you know what I mean? There's so many big touristy attractions that I can see, the big this, the big that, the big mosque, but I feel like I'd rather be on the streets, you know, with the Turkish people, and living the life as a Turk, and understanding their way of life, and being in little cafes around here, and walking and talking and seeing how they live from the street, you know, from the ground up. So this is what I've been doing in the morning, just exploring, and had a little breakfast, had some spinach, cheese, pastry, and some pie, vegetable pie, and bought some medjool dates and some baklava, and and then other than that, I'm just relaxing, got my hoodie on and my gloves. It's only about 4 degrees here, and then I'm gonna head off to the Bosphorus to check out the sea where Asia meets Europe. Anyway, lots of love to everyone, and keep it real. Yo, bye. Hey, so reflections on Istanbul. It was a nice experience. It was quite short, only 3 or 4 days, but it was nice. I first stayed with with Selçuk, and that was in Taksim, and we went out and spent the night together and went for a walk, and he took me through the red light district and took me through the main shopping centre. We had beautiful baklava and we had a nice Turkish meal together, and he showered me. Such a beautiful man, and he let me stay at his place and couch surf for free, which was beautiful, and had a chat with his funny flatmates, and yeah, very, very quirky dude. And then the next night I went to Sergan's house, and that was in Katakoy, so on the other side, and that was cool as well. Like, he was nice, and he gave me a bit of dinner, and and it was all pretty easy going. And then the next day, the highlight of the trip for sure was meeting up with Bashak, who I met at the Hong Kong Leadership Symposium. And yeah, it was beautiful. We met at the ferry wharf, and then we went out together to Prince's Islands, which was an hour and a half ferry from Katakoy, and we went bike riding together and took nice photos and talked about life and sexuality and beautiful things, and then we went out to dinner together with also Serkan, and that was really nice, and we shared Turkish food and enjoyed that very much. And then in the morning, a second highlight was we went to Maiden's Tower together, and we got up for sunrise, but there was no sunrise, so we went to Maiden's Tower and had breakfast in between Asia and Europe, where the James Bond film was shot in 1999, and it was quite romantic, the music and the setup and the layout, and I only felt a friendship energy towards her, but it was still nice to look after her, and she really spoiled me. Most of the time she was paying for my bike, and she paid for simit, the bread rolls, and for my ferries, and she's a lovely woman. I really appreciated our time together. And so we had a nice big Turkish breakfast, and Turkish tea and bread and different pastries and salad and meat and eggs, and yeah, really yummy. And we went up to the top and Skyped to my sister, and then we threw simits, bread bagels to the birds, and yeah, it was really lovely. We took nice photos together on the ferry, and then she came all the way to the airport with me to drop me off, which was so kind of her. So yeah, then that was my time in Turkey, in Istanbul, and it was cool. It was beautiful to spend time with her. So, New York City, the city that never sleeps. Wow, I gotta say, I've really been enjoying it. It's a beautiful city. It's gorgeous. All the people I've met have been super nice. The architecture, the Central Park, Times Square I went at today, and I was freestyling with two gangster dudes, a DJ and a rapper, and one was beatboxing. We freestyled together, and I bought their mixtape. And then I was watching street performers and looking at the lights and a bit of people watching and getting the metro, and yeah, super funky, and walking through Central Park, and it was beautiful. I really enjoyed the vibe of the city, and lots of people running and out doing amazing things, and so multicultural and so diverse. So I really love it, and I've been fortunate enough to be staying in Ria's house. She's a beautiful tantrika, and She's in the ISTA community, the Sacred Temple Arts community, friends with Laurie, who taught the course that I did, level 1 in India. So she's beautiful, and she's given me my own little room and in this special little house in Brooklyn. And when I arrived, not last night but the night before, I cooked some pumpkin and gingerbread muffins with her, and we had a beautiful little dinner with her friends, which was really nice. And then we did some ceremony, some ritual for the moon and for the sun, and calling in the directions and beautiful stuff like that, and conscious communication, and very lovely. And then last night her lover and her lover's partner came round and played a bit of music, and we also had dinner together, and I made sticky date pudding. And yeah, it's been beautiful. And the first night I stayed in Jackson's Heights with Kleber and had the interesting experience with that. And yeah, it's been pretty full power so far in New York City. I'm really liking it, and just enjoying the experience. And Wednesday night I'll be going to a cacao ceremony and sound healing, and then Thursday night we'll be going to Get Up to Get Down dance, ecstatic dance. So looking forward to it. It's beautiful being here, and I feel very appreciative and very lucky, and I like New York. It's a cool city. I could live here. Anyway, lots of love to everybody. Ciao. Hey, Dharmakaya checking in here. It's currently 12:30 a.m. Walking through the streets of Brooklyn, New York City, down Bergen Street back home to Ray's house, and just finished a beautiful, deeply moving, tender, community-based ceremony for cacao. So sat in circle with Sasha and the rest of the tribe, and had beautiful cacao, and had the sound healing with the hand pan, and beautiful Sufi singing mixed with Karen's beautiful singing, and just lusciousness of connection, just beautiful people. And once again, just felt like I was at home, just immediately this feeling of home and belonging, and just conscious community, and the feeling was so good. And had the cacao, and then I was feeling really relaxed, and I used Florencia's lap as a pillow and just sat down, and she massaged my face, and just connecting with everyone, and had some fresh apple and some fresh fruit, and finished the ceremony in circle, and it's just divine. And we all hugged at the end and sang the Lion King together, and just bliss, just openness, and wholehearted love and pure heart space. So I feel very fortunate to have connected with this community in New York City, and I've been spoilt. So it's really beautiful. So I look forward to connecting with more like-minded souls again soon. Hey, everybody who's listening. I just wanted to share my intensely synchronistic, divinely orchestrated, spontaneous and amazing night last night. Fucking crazy. Excuse my French. So Sasha, Jenna's lover, Ria's lover, the person, the lady who I'm staying at her house, lover of a lover, invited me to a sound healing galactic activation, sound healing ceremony in New York City. And it was at a church, and so I committed to going, because I thought it sounded cool and I wanted to support Sasha playing there, and there was lots of different healers and energy workers and sound musicians there. And I invited a few people that I have connected with in New York, and Hannah, who's the girl who I met on the train on the subway, she suddenly said, yeah, I'd like to come, but I'm pretty short on cash. So I said to her, okay, I'll go halves with you and you can come. So she said, okay. So my plan was to meet her at 7:10, but my metro got me off at the wrong side of Central Park, like the opposite train station, so I was running late, so I had to run through Central Park, through the snow, through the ice, and in the darkness with my GPS on like 10% phone battery, and thinking, oh fuck, like I hope I'm not too late, A, to meet her because she doesn't have a phone, and B, for the ceremony. Anyway, as I was running and started getting a bit frustrated, I thought to myself, it's okay, I'm meant to get there late. I'm supposed to happen. This is supposed to happen. Just trust in it. And I got there, at 7:30. And Hannah was there, and I just sat down and got involved and started listening in to all the instruments and the healing. And after, a short period of time, there was this man, and he started walking around and was doing some body work and some healing on people. And suddenly he came up to me, and I had my eyes closed, so I didn't know what he looked like or who he was. And he started tapping on my heart chakra, and started tapping on my chest, and then started tapping on my feet, and started making these shamanic noises and breath work, and stood behind me and was getting me to breathe, and did this for a couple of minutes. And then he stopped and he said to me, Spirit is telling me something. Spirit is telling me that you are the reincarnation of a shaman in this life. And then he said, and I also feel that it would be good for you to work in the Amazon with ayahuasca. Wow. And, in less than 2 weeks, I'm going to the Amazon, to Peru, to explore shamanism and ayahuasca. And when he said this to me, I just thought, fuck, how does he know that? Like, what are the odds that he came up to me out of the, 200 other people in the room, and that he shared that with me, and literally, a couple of weeks before I journey to do exactly that in Peru, which is where he said. And so I just processed that, and I just started crying. It was like, I think it was crying at the beautiful synchronicity of knowing that I'm on the right path, or just crying at that, that it feels so right, that I'm interested in these healing modalities because of this previous reincarnation. So I think that's why I was supposed to be late, so that I was there at that time, so that he could provide this healing. And then it was beautiful. It was beautiful listening to all of that, and I connected with him after, and I said thank you. And his name was Alan Pratt, a healer and a psychic in New York and Florida. And he said that I should go to the Temple of Light in Iquitos. And that's the message he got sent. And then me and Hannah decided to go out and get pizza. So we went out and had New York pizza together and just chatted about life and consciousness. And her birthday is March 11th. Born on the same day. So we're both fishy. No wonder we got along so well. We had kombucha. We had Cosmic Cranberry Kombucha and Trilogy Raspberry Ginger Kombucha and some pizza, and then we went back to my house and watched some Deepak Chopra and Caroline Myss and Matt Kahn teachings online, and had a cup of tea, and then had a bit of a snuggle and went to bed. So it was a very spontaneous and random and beautiful evening, and yeah, it's quite intense how beautiful it was when Alan shared that shamanism with me. Just fucking incredible. So I just wanted to share that. Gonna have an early night tonight. Lots of love to everyone. Ciao.
Hey, how's everyone doing? Just checking in here from Peru, in Lima, San Pedro, the city. And currently just reflecting back on the last couple of weeks in New York City and Brooklyn. And I wanted to highlight one of the best nights, if not the best night I've ever had in my life, which was my farewell divine dinner gathering, which was, Tuesday night. So Wednesday night was India RE concert before I flew out to Peru in the morning, and Tuesday night was the dinner. So it was intensely divine, incredibly conscious, and just very, very beautiful. So Sophia was there, the beautiful Florencia was there, and Mia, and then me and Kenny. So there was just the five of us, and we connected very deeply, and yeah, it was seriously divine. We started off dancing. We were all dancing together in the lounge and playing music, and we started off imitating each other. So one person would dance, and then the next person would dance, and everyone would copy the one person who was dancing, follow the leader, dance style. And that was super fun. And then after our dancing, we sat down in circle and ceremony and did a cacao ceremony. Held the cacao to our hearts as Florencia led the ceremony, and we called in whatever spirits or protection or our intentions for the ceremony, and sat down in circle and held hands and did an Om to open up the space and have a sacred space. And then we sipped on the cacao, which was beautiful. And after we did the cacao, we sat in a massage train, and we were all sitting down behind each other, sort of straddling each other and giving each other a massage while we received and gave. And then we swapped and swapped out the massages, which was really, really beautiful. And then after we did the massage, we sat around and chatted and connected. And then I started getting quite close to Florencia and started giving her little kisses in the massage train and snuggling up to her, and I really like her a lot. She's very beautiful inside and out, and a very happy soul, and very conscious for a 27-year-old woman. So it was beautiful to connect and spend time with her. And then what was next? And then we had the dinner. So I made my favorite Indian chickpea, spinach, tomato Indian coconut milk curry, organic basmati rice. And Mia just went over there and just heated it up herself, and she brought it down, and then she excuse the blender in the background. And then she just got her hand and she said, okay, he's having some, and she just fed us with her hand. Just put her hand into the curry, and we each licked off her hand and ate this food. And that was super lush. And this was all whilst listening to Desert Dwellers, Snatam Kaur, Deepak Chopra, and just very relaxing Indian chill out music. Very cool. And we were all sort of feeling pretty funky and hanging out, and I was kissing and giving lots of love and affection to Florencia, and Kenny was doing the same to Sophia. And then Mia suddenly came up to us and said, look, I want to draw you guys. I want to do some nude art, if that's okay with you. And so we said yeah. So we discussed our fears and boundaries and then got into it. So Mia just set up her little space with pillows on the ground, and then we all got naked, and I was kissing and giving lots of love to Florencia and Kenny to Sophia, and it was really, really sexy and very, very smooth, and a lot of love radiating in that space. And Mia was just sitting down and just watching us, she was just watching, and she was drawing us, and and I just remember we were on the couch, Sophia and Kenny were on the couch, kissing and getting together, and me and Florencia were on the couch, and I was just holding her, and we were kissing each other's face and holding each other's hearts, and just eye gazing and just sending energetic beams of love, and it was just so beautiful. And then after that, it was a while after that, there's this beautiful creation of art that Mia drew of this energetic connection. And then after that, Florencia left. She had to go, and then Mia and Kenny and Sophia all did a cuddle puddle on the ground, and were hugging each other, and slowly the energy became more sexual. So we started everyone started kissing everyone, and Mia was kissing me, and I was kissing Sophia, and then me and Kenny were making love to Sophia's breasts, which was super fun, while Mia was naked straddling Sophia. So pretty much my first experience of sharing sexual energy with 3 others. and a bit of a foursome. So that was super nice, and I felt very comfortable, and it was cool. I did miss Florencia though, because she was the one I most felt attracted to and connected to most deeply. But still, I enjoyed that, and that was beautiful. And then Mia had made fresh banana and date ice cream, so we had banana date ice cream, and then organic vegan cupcakes that Kenny bought. So we had those for dessert and sat around listening to music, and it was just divine. And then not the next day, and then I went to India Arie concert, which was amazing. And then in the morning, for my last night in New York City, I went to see sunrise with beautiful Hermosa Florencia. And so me and Florencia had a beautiful sunrise in the morning on Brooklyn Bridge, and she brought cacao, so we did another cacao ceremony together and just talked about life and our relationship and where we were going and our feelings, and shared the beautiful mama cacao watching sunrise and just kissing each other and holding each other, and yeah, I really felt a lot of love for her, and I could feel myself starting to fall for her, and I do feel a lot of love, and I haven't felt like that for a while. So it was muchos divine, very divine to experience that with her. And then we went to a little cafe and we had a cup of tea together, and I gave her a little gift, and shared some more beautiful times. And then we went back to my house, and she helped me pack up my room, and I said goodbye to her before I went to the airport. And it was just so lovely, because every time we've connected has been through cacao ceremony. All 3 times, 3-4 times that I've seen her, we've had a cacao. So it's been the plant that's brought us together, and it's just so lush. And so I just wanted to share that love and that openness, and how beautiful and spontaneous that night was that we all shared together. My farewell dinner, and loved it.